Welcome everyone to Best Wedding Ever. We are Nicole and Alex. We help new and novice officiants plan and officiate perfect, personal wedding ceremonies. So if you have a question about how to turn your ceremony chaos into the best wedding ever, let us know in the comments.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to Best Wedding Ever. I'm Nicole, this is Alex, and this is Spike, who's currently so cold she's shivering. So we're having a little...
Happy winter, everyone.
Happy winter, everyone. In this episode, we're going to talk about uninviting people from your wedding, which is, I'm sure, something everybody has wanted to do at one point or another. Our question comes from a couple who writes, "My fiance and I need to uninvite a family elder from participating in our ceremony. It's a long story, but basically one of our mothers invited him to participate without consulting anyone. We only just found out, and it's a headache we didn't need. Now we need to take back control of our ceremony and reset some expectations. How can we do this delicately?" Yikes.
Yikes. But good on you for wanting to take the reins back. And we want to recognize you for wanting to take care with how to make this happen, and wanting to be careful in this moment. Because whatever contribution this family elder was going to make might have been 5 minutes at most in the ceremony, but however you handle this interaction could potentially change the family dynamic going forward.
Yeah. We have a story about this.
We have a story. Once upon a time...
Still mad about it.
Once upon a time, I was invited to play a role in one of my best friend's weddings, and I was moving forward planning to play that role. And then a few weeks before the ceremony, I was asked not to play that role anymore with no explanation given, just, "Oh, sorry, we're not going to do that anymore." And it really hurt my feelings. As much as I wanted it to be their wedding and the way they wanted it, it still hurt to be asked to step back from playing any kind of role in a ceremony of my best friend. Now, granted, in that instance, it was my friend who had asked me to be in the ceremony, so they were fully conscious of me participating. It wasn't someone doing it on their behalf.
Or behind your back.
Or behind their back. Mm-hmm. But still, I think the caution needs to come in how we change the expectations that have been built up in people that are close to you.
Right. So let's pull on the rubber boots and get into the muck on this one. So since it just happened, it would be worth your time to kind of process your own emotions, because you're going to need to do some delicate work, and letting your own kind of anger or frustration bleed through is just going to make a delicate situation that much more volatile. So, run it out, punch it out, stress eat it out, however you need to deal with it, so that it's not stinging you every time you talk about it. Start there.
Yes. Yeah. And then I think it would be good to get clear on what would feel good to request from the elder. You didn't get into the details in your question, but my sense is that there's something either about this elder or the way the mom asked him to participate that you don't want. So name it and figure out why you care so much. It's okay to care so much. And then write down the reasons you would prefer this elder does not participate in this way.
Wait, is this guy invited to the wedding? Because it's double yikes if you hadn't invited this elder to the wedding in the first place. And that's a slightly different conversation.
True. So we're kind of assuming he was invited at least to the wedding. If not, write us back and we'll do a whole other video for you. But in any case, so once you've figured out kind of what is the pain point behind this elder being invited, your next step is to write down the impact of your mom's actions on you in the ceremony planning. Really dig deep and name all the reasons this action was hurtful and frustrating and undermining of your desires and plans. And again, your goal is to clear those feelings out of your system so you can be calm when you offer some pushback to your family members. Because having all your arguments written out, all of your reasons written out, are going to help you if you get pushback from your mom.
Yeah, but I think it's smart to expect some kind of pushback or some kind of emotional reaction from your mom. I mean, I'm sure your mom's going to be a little bit embarrassed, especially when she notices that she's actually caused a really awkward situation that was unnecessary. So think about your mom specifically. Like, how does she handle embarrassment? How does she handle sort of awkward family moments? And anticipate how you're going to need to respond in order to get her being a team player rather than being a reaction, and then you have to fight this battle on a whole separate front.
Right. Because you 100% deserve to have a wedding that makes you happy. And it is worth considering whether being happy might mean sucking it up and rolling with this change. Because there could be too many factors at play where undoing your mom's decision would actually cause more pain in the long run.
Oh, yeah. In some families, to uninvite somebody would be like a huge disaster.
Right. So
huge.
We don't want to skate over that.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, we're going to ask you, what can you do to make peace with what happened and how it went down?
So you've also just learned in the hardest possible way that the most difficult part of wedding planning isn't in the details. It's in the boundaries that you have to set with the folks involved, your loved ones. And it's ultimately a really good lesson for your life, for your marriage, to learn how to set those boundaries and then maintain them. That's a silver lining.
Absolutely.
Look at all this learning and growing we're doing.
Absolutely. I think that we talk all the time about how wedding planning is the beginning of this new boundary setting. You're becoming a new kind of family together, and sometimes that means creating a harder boundary with family that has been closer to you. And I think that learning to graciously set those boundaries is really great practice for married life and for the next time you have to see this elder. So think of this as a hard conversation to break the ground for a new boundary stone.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, so to recap, you are correct that you're in a very awkward situation. We acknowledge you're in a very awkward situation. And so the process we're going to go through is, first, you need to kind of clear your own emotional response. So, get your own feelings out of your system in a way that's going to allow you to sit down with the people involved in as calm a manner as you can possibly manage. And then
have a difficult conversation with your mom where you offer some gentle feedback about the impact her decision to invite this person has caused within the planning process. And then to have a conversation with the family elder if you decide either to keep him in or to uninvite him. Either way, I think it's worth talking to him about the role he could play or the ways in which you want him to actually participate in the ceremony.
Yes. And it is worth saying something and not letting your resentment sort of seethe under the surface. It is worth addressing all of these issues, if only to save you from having other boundaries crossed further down the line in this process and in your marriage.
Absolutely.
So
early boundaries set you up for success.
Yes. So it is worth your time and effort to try to, surf your way out of this awkward situation. But we do acknowledge this is very, very difficult and extremely, extremely awkward. And, there might not be a way to undo it graciously. And that wisdom to know that can save you a lot of heartache.
Absolutely. But we trust you, and we know that by sitting down with it and untangling it, you're going to figure out the best path forward for you and your family. Yeah. So good luck. Let us know how it goes. And I hope you have the best wedding ever.
Yes.
Thanks so much for joining us, officiants. If you have a question or a tricky situation we might help you navigate, please reach out by leaving a comment below or emailing us through our contact form at rebelheartrituals.com. We're so proud that you are taking your officiating responsibilities so seriously, and we're glad you're ready to rebel against should to create the best wedding ever. See you next time.